Coach Deborah has a passion and purpose to assist young men, ages 15 to 24, to overcome obstacles and build their best lives. She wants to see every young man live out their potential. She has a master's degree in human services counseling, with a major in life coaching. More importantly, she is the mother of 3 boys, who are exceptional, educated, professional men. Coach Deborah believes it is better to train early, rather than need to fix later. She utilizes basic principles and God-led concepts. Sometimes the only thing a young man has is their credibility or their name. The actions they take are based on the decisions they make. Those decisions align with their choices and result in consequences. Coach Deborah can assist you if you are lost, floundering, or confused. Embrace the help and start building your best life today.
Happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome to Build Your Best Life. I'm Coach Deborah D. Smith, and I am super excited to have you here today because you could have been anywhere else. So I really appreciate you coming on Build Your Best Life. Well, this year is all about blueprint for success. Yes, you want to have that blueprint so you will have an idea of where it is that you're trying to go, and that will help you as you navigate on your way to success. Well, first off, I want to thank each and everyone for all the support that you provide to build your best life. Because without your prayers, your comments, your likes, and your shares, we probably would not even be here today. So thank you so very much for everything that you do to assist us in being here to service our young men and our mothers with sons. Well, this month of March, our theme is a blueprint for ethical living. A blueprint for ethical living. And who doesn't want to live a life that is ethical, that shows who you are, what your values are, what you glean important to you, your family, and the body? Hey, what more can I say? I just think that that is so very key to what we are and what we do. Today, I have a topic that should resonate with everyone when you actually get down to thinking about it. And that's think before you speak. Think before you speak. Put that in the chat. Think before you speak. Former President Barack Obama said it this way: don't say the first thing that pops into your head. Have a little bit of a self-edit function. That's good advice for life. Think about that. A self-edit function. You actually think before you let that thought that pops into your head come out of your mouth. Because guess what? This is not a comic. This is real life. So once that pops out, you can't pull it back in. So you need to think about it. So again, today we are talking about think before you speak. Now, one key that should be familiar with everyone, and to me it's a key about being ethical, is to treat others as you want to be treated. As you want to be treated. And that's just what? Following the golden rule. Following the golden rule. And we should want to do that. That's something that we probably learned about early on in life. Our parents taught us, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So following that golden rule is very, very key. And that key of doing unto others ties into how you want to be treated as you communicate. So the key of being treated fairly, ethically, kind of correlates with how you communicate. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. Communicating, and we want to think about being ethical, and just when you talk to people and you're supposed to be engaged in a conversation, whether it's your child, a family member, or whomever, you want to keep in mind that golden rule. And how would you feel if you were on the other end of that conversation? Okay? So if you're talking, you want others to do what? To listen. And listen doesn't mean just mean you sitting there going, because you don't have to be listening. Your mind could be 1,000 miles away. But really, really listen to the words that they're saying, trying to comprehend the meaning of what they're saying. Because, a lot of times, even when I'm talking, they say, well, you said blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, I did? Well, I meant the opposite. So that they are understanding what you're saying and what you mean to say, because it might be something that, is obvious. Like if I say, I can't find the door to open the key. Well, I mean, I can't find the key to open the door. So they're listening to understand. You give people your full attention. So I'm telling you about a situation that happened, and it was something that was critical to me. It was special to me. It hurt me. But you're sitting there. How does that make me feel? Like you're not interested in what I'm saying? You don't care about what I'm saying? All of that is a part of communication. So when someone else is talking, then you should do those same things that I just said. So if someone else is talking, you want to be listening. You want to be paying attention. You want to be engaged. You want to look like you're interested in what they're saying. Now, there are some communication conflicts that I'm going to talk about today. What are those things that hinder that good communication from going out? What hinders that good communication? Well, one is not listening. So I guess you say, well, you said that before. Okay, but let's really, really talk about that. Not listening. So if you're talking to me and I'm not listening, I'm being rude. Now, there are some people that just talk. They just might be a little hyper. They might be on some type of medication and they just talk. But the average person is really interested. They want you to know the information that they're talking about. So if you're not listening just to even hear what they're saying, you're being rude. That's a conflict. If you're not interested, that's a conflict. Because if someone begins to talk to you and they say, oh, I have to tell you what happened to me last week. Okay, well, I have a meeting in 5 minutes. Or is it going to be a long story? Because I really want to hear what happened, but is it going to be a long story? Do we need to get together later today? Or, So let them know that, hey, I'm interested, but I have somewhere I have to be in a couple minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So you're not sitting there and they're talking and you're looking like you're not interested because you're looking at your watch. You're doing like you're tapping because you really need to get to a meeting. You don't want to be late for your meeting. So it's a difference in not being interested and not having the time. And then if you don't have the time, you should want to be honest and speak up and say, hey, I'm really, really interested. I want to know what you are talking about, what you have to say, but I got to get to this meeting. Okay? Poor communication skills. So a lot of people think that communication is just talking. So if I talk, am I enunciating my words? Am I using the proper grammar? Am I speaking English fluently? Do I have an accent? Can you understand me? But that's not all that's entailed in communication. Communication includes those nonverbals. So is what I'm saying going along with the gestures I'm making, the body language that I'm showing? Because I'm not saying I'm interested, but I'm going, looking like I'm about to doze off, or am I, wow, am I interested? A part of communication is listening. Listening is a huge part of communication. So do you have poor communication skills? Because if you do have poor communication skills and someone is trying to tell you something, you can be interviewing for a job, you may be listening to your boss or whatever. So it is important to have great communication skills. And if, like I said, if you're not listening, if you're being rude, you're not interested, look like you're not interested, you don't have those skills, then that's a conflict. That is a conflict. Another conflict is being distracted. Being distracted. So someone's talking to you and they're telling you, maybe telling you a secret. They may be telling you that they have a chronic illness. They may be telling you something about a child or something, but you're distracted. What is that saying to the other person? That the conversation is not worth your time. The information is not relevant to you. You much rather be on social media. Yeah, I know. You listening to them and you doing something else. Girl, you know I can multitask. No, you can't. There's no such thing. They're talking to you. You got the TV on your phone now. So you got the earbuds in. They don't even know you got earbuds in. And you still sitting up there. You're really catching up on the show. You just got that little fake smile on your face. They think you're listening, but you're not. You're looking at that show on your TV, on your phone. So is viewing that show more important than what they're saying? Or is it that you don't even care about that person or what they may be going through, what they may be trying to communicate? It's all about you. Again, that's a what? That's a communication conflict. We're talking about communication conflicts if you just tuned in. Our topic is think before you speak. But right now we're going through communication conflicts. Another one is being defensive. Being defensive. Yes, you can be in a conversation or having communication with someone and be on the defensive. Because they're talking and you're sitting there and you have a smile on your face, that fake smile. You might be looking at them. You might have a pen in your hand, the click, 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 click. You may have the phone in your hand. I have something in my eye. You may have a phone in your hand, thumbing through it. But you're thinking, I really don't want to be here. Because you might be at a meeting. You might be talking with your a peer, your boss, or a group. But it's like, you know what? I really don't want to be here. I don't want to be engaged in this conversation because I'm not interested. They can do what they want to do. I don't care. And it's written all over your face. But again, we're saying these are your peers that may have impact or influence on your next performance review. Of course, your boss will, and they can see from your face you're not engaged. You're on the defensive. Are you mad? Your kids made you mad before you left home. You're on your way to school. You got mad with your parents. You in class. And you just sitting there and you're looking at the teacher like, oh boy. And all you can see is your mom's face, and you could just go up there and just slap that teacher, and it's just all over your face. You don't like the subject, the content. You just like, oh, can I hurry up and get out of here? It might be someone that they're trying to talk to you and you don't even like them. You ever have been in a conversation with someone and they might like you, they may love you, and they just get on your last nerve. You're on the defensive. That's a communication conflict because you're not going to have good communication because you're not paying them any attention. You're really not listening. They may be saying something that's vital to you, something that can help you down the road, but you are now on the defensive. You just don't care. You just don't care. It's like it is what it is. You do what you want to do. I don't care. Is that the persona that you want to portray? I don't care. And my mom would get all over me. She used to always say, never say you don't care. Never say that and never act like that. So that's like one of those things that I really don't think you should do is give someone the impression that you don't care. So that is another conflict, being on the defensive. You don't want to show that to people. Okay? This is a big one. This is a big one, and a lot of people do it. And I know when you get around my age, we have this excuse that, I don't mean to interrupt you, but if I don't say it now, I'm gonna forget. But that interrupting. So when you're listening, especially if you're listening to your child and y'all are having this, conversation and it's about a critical situation, you're having, what do I want to say? You're having a conversation about, real stuff, real talk. You want to be open and honest with each other, and you should be listening to them. A lot of times our kids don't want to come to us and communicate because instead of us listening, we are judging. We are talking over them. We're telling them what they are going to do when we actually need to listen and look. And remember, listening, when I said listening, part of that is looking at that body language. So we need to be fully engaged and listening at that child. So that means we shouldn't be interrupting. We should be listening. So you can hear everything that they are saying and what they're not saying through body language and gestures and things. So, but you don't interrupt people when they are talking. Because you're sitting there and you're like, ooh, can they hurry up? Because, ooh, I got something to tell them. Ooh, I got the same situation. But you don't want to wait till they finish. You want to interrupt. But you need to wait until they finish. Okay? Because when you interrupt, what are you saying to them? You're saying that your thoughts and ideas are more important than theirs. They're more critical than theirs. Yours mean more than theirs. They just got hot air. You really got some stuff to tell. You ever had a conversation with somebody, I don't care what you're talking about, your child could have just gotten a double scholarship to MIT and Harvard, and you are telling the way that they got it, they didn't even apply for it. And this is something big, something interesting. They may learn something from it because you're saying they didn't even apply for it, but they can't wait. My child, they got blah, 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 blah. Okay, why can't you let them shine? This is something huge. MIT and Harvard, and they didn't apply. Can't you just listen without interrupting and tell them about your situation at another time? We're talking about communication, listening, not interrupting, because what other people have to say is just as important as what you have. Okay? So listen. And then they're taking the time, they care enough to tell you this. It's not the point that, hey, they're bragging, but think about that. It's just something I made up, but their child just got double scholarships. They can go to MIT, or they can go to Harvard, full rides, and they didn't even apply. How huge is that? That's newsworthy. That's social media worthy. And they think enough of you that they want to share it with you. Not trying to brag, but they just want to share it with you. But you're trying to think, how can I up them one? What can I say? I just can't wait. Oh, I got to interrupt. You know what happened to so-and-so? Don't do that. Interrupting, that is another critical communication conflict. You don't want to do that. Think about that. I'm going to read what Obama said again. He said, don't say the first thing that pops into your head. Have a little bit of self-edit function. A self-edit function. That's good advice for life. Think about that. Some of that stuff you need to keep in your head. Listen, and don't be so antsy to get what you want to say out, and you want to shine, you want to do this. Listen to the other person. Right? Don't be defensive. Don't interrupt. Listen. Right? These are the things that we want to do. This last one that I'm going to talk about, negative or aggressive body language. Everybody say that with me. I put it in the chat. Negative or aggressive body language. Now, I used to get in trouble when I first started working. I can't spell. When I first started working, now I really did used to get in trouble about this one, because I have always been cold-natured. Always cold. So, they tell you when you sit like this, I don't know if you can see me or not. Let's see. You sit with your arms folded, that your mind is closed. But I would always be cold. And they would want to know, why were you sitting in the meeting looking like that? Looking like what? Like you ain't want to be there, you didn't want to hear. Why you say that? I was looking, I was listening, I could tell you everything you said. But you had your arms like this. So that's that negative, they call that negative body language, because they say you're closed off. So even on call, I try to keep a sweater with me so I won't fold my arms. But that was why I would always fold my arms. But when you have that body language that is saying to someone else, now it may not even be what you're saying, because see, you have to send out information. And as you send out information, you want to try to make it as clear and concise as possible, because that person that you want to receive the information, not only do they have to understand what you said, but they have to try to interpret the meaning of what you said. So even though you may not be negative or aggressive, that's what they're thinking. So you have to be careful with that. But so the way that you're sitting, the way that you're looking, the way that you have your arms, I've gotten in trouble about that too. Well, we just thought you were all that. Why? Because you had your hands like this. I said, was it after lunch? I've already been trying to stay awake, but no, I was interested. And this was actually when I was hiring a whole work unit. We were starting a new work unit, so we had lots of people to interview. But he was like, we were scared. I didn't know if I wanted to accept the job to work for you, because you just sitting there like this. But you're so nice. Like, okay, that's fine. But that's what my body language was saying to them. So, it may not be something that you are aware of, because I wasn't aware of that. Or it may be something that you're not even trying to portray. But something that you may be doing. I'm doing my hands like this. You probably can't see them. And your body language is saying, hurry up, hurry up. I don't know where you're going with this, what you got to say, just hurry up. Hey, it's time for me to go to lunch. We've been in here 2 hours. You keep saying the same thing over and over. Every time somebody new come in the room, you start over again. If you don't hurry up. So if you ever been in a meeting where somebody starts over every time somebody new comes in, yeah, you might have some negative or aggressive body language. But, you know, depending on where you are, you want to kind of try to make yourself not do that. I have that look, you know, you keep talking. When are you going to give me a chance to say something? You know, it's like when you're interviewing someone and you ask them a question and your question was, 15 seconds long and they answer you for 10 or 15 minutes. It's like, okay, we need to move it on, but you don't want to say that. So it's like, you know, so do you say it in your body language? Why are we discussing this? They discuss this every time we get in these meetings. They never come up with a resolution. Why did they discuss it every time? So you're looking down, it's like, oh my goodness. But do you want to do that? Instead of looking like that, you know, I have a question. You know, we have discussed this topic, I think, for the last 3 months. And each time we have discussed it, we have not come up with a resolution. Is this still an ongoing issue? Is it something that we really need to discuss? Or is this something that we can drop? You know, it gets quiet. You know, you're right. I didn't realize that we have been carrying this on the agenda for 3 months. So either we need to go back to the drawing board on that one, or it's not an issue any longer. If we're not coming up to a resolution, nobody's asking us anything about it, but we keep putting it on the agenda and we keep debating back and forth. Thank you for bringing that up. So you making, you know, get them to move on instead of sitting there being like, oh my goodness, if they don't shut up, speak up. Okay, are you saying with your body language, this conversation is the dumbest, or the silliest, this, you know, they keep talking about this is irrelevant. Again, excuse me for interrupting, but, you know, I don't want us to continue to discuss this if we don't need to. But I was thinking, we are talking about now if we need to send a paper copy to these 3 departments, right? So that's what we're trying to decide, correct? Okay. Well, the company's initiative is to go paperless. So instead of trying to decide whether or not we should continue to send copies and to send copies to what areas, should we go back and send something out to the areas that we have been sending the information to ask them if they still need the information? And then if they do, we can send them a digital copy. That would be cost efficient as well as quicker. Oh, you know what? You're right. And some of these apartments might not even need it any longer because, yeah, you're right. Yeah, okay. We're gonna move forward on that one. That's a good idea. So, can you make sure that you put that in the notes? And when I go back, I will send out communication to all those areas. And you're done with that. So instead of you sitting there going, oh, they just so dumb. And now what they're trying to figure out where to send a copy. And the company's saying, stop sending copies. But you don't say anything. You're just sitting there with that negative body language. You want to all have that positive mindset. So that your body language needs to match, right? So that is that final one that I wanted to talk about. So again, as we discuss communicating, making sure that we communicate effectively, we want to make sure that we remember the golden rule to do unto others as we want them to do unto us. And that is in communication as well as anything else. And then we want to be cognizant of communication conflicts, which could be not listening, being distracted, being defensive, interrupting, and then displaying negative or aggressive body language. So I hope that the information that provided today in this segment, Think Before You Speak, has made somebody go, yeah, that'll work. And that you can like, share. Hey, this is something I think will help this person, that person, my grandson, that educator, whomever. Oh, I want to listen to this again. I was a little busy cooking dinner and listening. Hey, I heard some good tidbits. I want to listen to this again. I really, really, really hope that this was something that made you go, So as you follow your blueprint for success, make sure that you use positive and meaning communication. Communication can stop a lot of the conflict that we have in the world today. So I think that it is very, very essential. Again, thank you all so much for tuning in today. Make sure you follow my website. Check it out. Blog, services that I offer, and the calendar as well. Make sure that you tune in this Saturday, March 9th. It's the second Saturday. It's Conversation with the Guys. And they have another hot topic. This week's topic is going to be a young man and his money. So I know that they will be giving out some powerful nuggets as usual. So please, please, please make sure that you tune in. You don't want to miss it. We're going to have Dr. Joseph Levette is going to be our host. And we also have Deacon Dan Smith, Derek Durden, and Dr. Coach Kevin Wilburn. So our guys are ready, and they are always bringing it. I love it. So please tune in. And that's this Saturday, March 9th at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check us out. Build your best life. This year again is all about a blueprint for success. But also, we want to declare Jeremiah 29:11 over your life. God knows the plans that he has for your life. And he wants to do what? Put it in the chat. I know if you follow me, you know what it is. And you should know what it is anyway. What is it? Prosperity. He wants prosperity for you as well. He wants you to have the future that you hope for. So make sure that you design your blueprint based on the plans that God has for your life, and then follow them to build your best life. Again, I'm Coach Deborah, and I appreciate you tuning in today. Remember that building your best life is our business. That's not a slogan. It's our commitment. I love you. Be blessed. Stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, the rest of your week, and I hope to see you Saturday morning. God bless you. Bye-bye.